guys, Tara here for DTOID. I'm with our producer Zach, and today we're talking about Borderlands 2, which we got to check out a couple weeks ago here, the co-op part specifically.
Yeah.
If you're going to PAX East this week, then I believe this is also the part they're going to have playable there.
It will be there.
So two parts of the map that we saw, Wildlife Preserve, which is kind of more of a grassy area, I guess. And then Caustic Caverns, which is sort of a radioactive wasteland, I guess, is how you would describe it. Very beautiful environments. I was really impressed visually.
Yeah, we were playing on PC, by the way, via controller, but the entire setup for the entire room was all on PC, which is pretty cool. Usually at preview events, they have you set up on a console, but you know, Gearbox has talked a lot about how much emphasis they're putting on the PC version for Borderlands, and it certainly showed here. Like you were saying, like you could see handsome jacks like Death Star and all the particle effects and everything looked fantastic. We
had a hands-on time with a couple of the characters, Salvador the Gunzerker and Maya, who's the Siren. You and I kind of played both and then switched off halfway through.
We played characters that were around level 20, I think, so we were able to invest in some skills. As the Gunzerker, I put pretty much all of my abilities into the dual wielding, and so basically that meant, like, you know, you can only trigger this ability so often, just like in the first game, but by putting, you know, my 20 plus points, I was able to dual wield pretty much whenever I wanted. I think that there's some ability where, like, if I killed someone, it would last a little bit longer. And I think similar for phase lock too, right?
And you can dual wield any two weapons you want, right?
Yeah, so like at one point I was dual wielding like a shotgun that had a scope on it and this rocket launcher that fired like acid rockets.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Borderlands, you know? I mean, I don't think anyone was skeptical of the amount of guns or like what type of guns they would have there, but like we saw some really awesome ones.
They've got a lot of new ones. They also got like some recognizable old ones in there. They've got the DTOID brand, which is the one that you your character sort of throws it after you shoot it, but then it ends up back in his hands. It's so weird. It
regenerates whenever you throw it.
He just throws it and it does like extra damage and then it'll explode or something.
Yeah. And I think, like, we talked to a couple of developers, and everyone's favorite type of weapon was the DTOID, because you can kind of, basically, when you throw it, you throw it when you're empty instead of reloading, and it does a little bit of damage. You can also, when you hit reload, throw it, and it has a full clip, and it will do more damage. So there's like some tactical things that you can do there.
Yeah, I will say, like, out of all the actual shooting, it felt kind of different than the first game, and not necessarily in a good way or a bad way, just different. It felt like my guns were doing less damage, like it took more rounds to be able to inflict the same amount of damage.
Right. And I think part of that might have been because we were playing co-op and they obviously scaled the difficulty of the enemies to accommodate that.
Yeah.
And we weren't really working as a team like we should have been, you know, like we're kind of
Well, you were filming me half the time anyway.
I was filming you, and yeah, we were just kind of like, oh, like, what's up this map? Oh, hey, there's Mordecai.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of new enemy types, in addition to old favorites like the Skags, which have gotten a lot of upgrades. There's now like acid Skags and different elemental Skags. There are also these kind of like mother Skags, where baby Skags basically appear out of them. Like they
birth them.
Yeah, and you have to mow them down. It's really cool. There are also these like worm flame tentacle things that pop out of the ground.
Oh man!
And they can like move around, and you have to shoot them. And
they look like Thresher Mauls almost.
Yeah,
really weird.
And then I think my favorite one was actually on Caustic Caverns, and they were these crystal guys. I forget their exact name, but they're basically these huge things that have these crystals on their feet. And that was their vulnerable point. So you had to shoot the different crystals to break them down and to do damage. Otherwise, they were like very heavily armored, and it would have been almost impossible to take them down. And I think my overall favorite was the boss version of that, which was on Caustic Caverns. I don't think we have footage of this, but it was basically a giant blue version of the crystal guy. There was, and he had some sort of item that you had to retrieve for this quest. And so basically, once you shot the guy down, a chest would open like out of his mouth, and you had to go in there to retrieve the item, and it ended up being nude pictures. That was what we had to recover, some scandals. I don't know why this monster had them, but that's Borderlands, I guess, right? You know those monsters.
But that was kind of a cool boss fight also, because it's like right in the middle of Caustic Caverns, and there's all these like radioactive pools of acid around. So you have to kind of avoid them while you're avoiding the giant like radioactive creature that's trying to kill you. So I thought it was really cool. One thing that we didn't mention that I thought was a big step up is non-weapon items that you pick up just kind of automatically pick up. You don't have to sit there and press like X to pick up, you know, like 35 bucks in money or something. So I don't know why that wasn't in the first one, but it's in here now, and that's a huge plus for me.
Yeah.
Other than that, I really enjoyed my time with it. You know, it was about what I was expecting. I do wish the actual gunplay felt a little more satisfying to me, but again, that could have been an issue with co-op or the weapons that I was using, or just anything really.
Yeah,
it's hard to tell at this point.
Yeah, they're throwing you into the game, and you've never played before, and you're level 20, so you're fighting some tougher enemies. And yeah, I agree. I mean, it's Borderlands, but way better. And Borderlands, I think, is the type of game where you want to spend a lot of time with your character and get to know the different weapons and the different abilities. And so we only had about an hour and a half, 2 hours with the game. But overall, I was really impressed. I cannot wait to play this. I'm definitely going to go play it at PAX this week again.
Yes. It's okay, I understand. We're actually gonna have a couple of interviews up. I think tomorrow and the day after, I interviewed the producer of the game as well as the creative director. Talked with him about everything that I saw. So watch out for those, it'll be on this channel. And Borderlands 2 comes out September 18th. We'll definitely have more news and hands-on time with it before then. And yeah.
I guess that's it.
That's it. See ya.